many times a week we're going to talk about a grape or a wine, something easy drinking, easy explaining. Today I was looking at something easy to find in France. Well, mainly I'm based in France, so I'm going to choose a French wines on a muscat. Is well, I think you can see great from the camera. It's the first time I start with the streaming, and uh, one of the way I decided is because lots of people ask on Twitter, why don't you do a video or something in English? So that's why I started. So coming back on the muscat, we're going to talk today on a dry muscat. Muscat is a grape that you find mainly on the Mediterranean Sea. In France, is mainly present on the Languedoc, which is the mainly the southwest on the Mediterranean Sea, not far from Spain. The Languedoc is split in many denominations, and one of the most known is the Pays d'Oc, where also Frontignan is there. Well, I found out something on a book, well, which is the Atlas, the World Wine Atlas of Hugh Johnson and John Robinson. Well, mainly to let you understand, we are more or less than, I don't know if you can catch the page, we are more or less than in France, which is a little bit really south in France. So Muscat is one of the variety which is quite special. First of all, is aromatic variety. It means that even after fermentation, well, even after the grape has been transformed in must, and then the must as a fermentation, the wine keeps the original flavors of the grape, which means it keeps the flavors that reminds a little bit the geranium, it reminds the rose, many flowers, and but mainly you really can eat the muscat and drink the muscat and drink the wine made of the muscat and feel the same flavors in all three different things. So, as I say, the muscat is very particular variety. The thing that is aromatic, you can feel all the time, and you can feel the muscat at every step of his life. So we're going to pour the wine now. I chosen a wine which has got, well, something very easy drinking, no oak at all, so you can really feel the grape, and with something that does not be a traditional cork. I know that for, especially for French, but for lots of people, cork, which is not made with well, which is a modern cork, with a screw cork, it might seem not very good, but I prefer to have this one than to have a cheap regular cork, and you may have a corked wine inside. So I'll pour the wine, pour back that one, and so as you can see by the color, it's very brilliant. You know, you keep a color which is never too goldy. Is always on the yellow pale, very brilliant, and with lots of light, especially on the top. It's very well reflecting. It is very young. I think it must be, if I will not mistake, it must be about 2019, something like this. Malaysia, yeah, very young one. So yeah, that's why. Of course, on the consistency, we this muscat will be quite good, the consistency, but will never be as good as strong or as concentrated as sweet wine, because in sweet wine you have sugar that they stay on the top of, well, on that part of the glass, at the wall of the glass, and of course you have the consistency, the wine is more thick. Then we go on the nose. First of all, on the nose, it reminds a little bit of lychee. The lychee is something that you find in lots of aromatic grapes. Gewürztraminer, muscat, then the rose you feel as well in other very young varieties, and then going on, quite mineral. Of course, lots of people say that, especially in this moment, that the wine has not to be mineral because there is no mineral if you do the analysis. But I think that the words remind a bit something in our mind. So I think we can see mineral if it reminds us something, if it gives us some imaging. So, as I was saying, agrumes. No, now I'm saying agrumes. Agrumes and like lemon, citrus on the first note, then rose, lychee, some minerality, something that reminds a little bit the saltiness of the wine, because it comes from a place where it's very close to the sea, and a wine that even, well, first on the nose seems easy drinking, then going on the mouth is very dry coming on the mouth. You feel really the saltiness of the wine, dry with a good freshness or good acidity, which comes through the palate and reminds a little bit the citrus side, which you really feel the citrus in quite a strong way. It's one that keeps quite well in your mouth, so it stays a little bit longer time. It stays up to 8-10 seconds in your mouth, which is very good for a very easy to find wine. It's very, very good wine. You know, we're working on a wine which is very costless. It's less than €5. So, I mean, we're talking in euros. I don't know. So it's and it's something that you can find a little bit everywhere, which is very particular of the aromatic variety. Is that even the one that are not perhaps the top of the production, top quality of the production, they stay very long time in your mouth. Comparing, if you compare, for example, a medium class wine, comparing it medium class aromatic, well, medium class wine made of aromatic variety and the medium class wine made of Chardonnay or whatever, the aromatic one will stay much longer in your mouth for anything, for many things. First of all, the grapes like Sauvignon, Muscat, Sauvignon is the longest one. They have something to keep really on the molecule. They have something to keep really long time at the end of your mouth. And then the thing is that aromatic. So when it's aromatic, you feel a bit more the flavors, and they continue to stay much longer on your mouth. So you continue to keep much longer in your mouth. Of course, I'm looking now at lots of people that coming on the channel. So if you want, please just write me. If you have any question, just please write me on the chat. So if I can answer, I will be glad. So going back on the Frontignan, which of course this one is not written Muscat de Frontignan, but it's more written Muscat de Pays d'Oc. Going back on the Languedoc, the Languedoc is one of the regions that has made great progress during the last perhaps 34 years. First of all, well, this changing has not been unpaid, so it's been very hard changing. During the 60s, the 70s, Languedoc was a place where generally there were lots of big quantity of wines, and all the wine they were used to cut wines from Bordeaux and from other regions generally was a alcohol. The wine was more alcohol rather than to use that as a wine by itself. And it was a region that was producing, was the biggest one in Europe. I think it's still one of the biggest one, and was used to produce tons of bulks of wines to be sold all over Europe. Then, as it changed a little bit, the Cavo Cooperative, there was a time that Cavo Cooperative became the strongest one in Languedoc. They still have quite a good power, and then they continue to, medium producers, they started to grow up. After that, the land is not very expensive, so lots of people, they can really buy a piece of land over there. So after that, this one started. Then the second generation or the third generation of wine producers start to have his own piece of land, because as I say, was starting to produce the wine of his father. So they didn't have the need to produce just to make money, but they could produce even to make a little bit more, to make a bit more reputational quality. So they started to produce a little bit more better wine. I'm sorry for my English if I get a little bit lost, but I'm just practicing now a bit more in English. So this third generation of wine producers start to produce in a better quality, and then we have today, during the last 20 years, producers start even to pay attention to the environment ways around them, which is very important. Now, lots of wine producers are understanding as well that wood and oak is not the reason to give a taste. So that's why lots of producers, they started to produce wine a bit more pure, a bit more fresh, and yeah, with some more freshness, much more enjoyable to drink. For my first stream, I will not be very long, so I'll leave you for a next appointment. I hope tomorrow in the afternoon as well, at a 3:30 p.m. of course. Well, thanks very much indeed, and do not forget to write me on your comments on the chat or on the video. Bye bye. Ti ho fatto arrabbiare?